This is Phoenix, and I'm going to read the first part of part two of my new book, my newly released book, The Street Kid. This part is called Mountain of Pain, and without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and read from it. Alright. 1. Nothing is as it seems. It isn't right. Right now, I see the differences. I see that something is happening. Nothing can ever be as it seems. Help me, I have to escape from them. They will kill me. This time I know they will. I have to. And if it seems as though everything is normal, then of course that is incorrect, because it can never be normal. Normality can't exist. Believing that is like a slap in the face. I have to run, have to get out of here. They're going to catch me. And something that should be avoided. Something that should always be avoided. Or so Phoenix hoped. 2. The wall. I can't beat the wall. It is stronger than I am. It is so much stronger. Phoenix was in somebody else's yard. He was not supposed to be here, and yet he felt good about trespassing. He was rebelling against what the bad guy wanted, and there was nothing wrong with that. He was rebelling against the bad guy because he was running away, and because he wasn't afraid to chase that. It was the right thing anyway, and if the person whose yard he was trespassing knew about that, they would definitely condone Phoenix's action. He was not supposed to be here, and that was definitely going to pass away soon enough. However, he didn't immediately climb the wall to get out of the yard, because he liked being here. He liked being suspended in time and space. He liked where he was right now, and nothing was going to take that away. 3. They're going to take you away. You better be ready. The car's coming. Phoenix was in a wide open space, his vulnerability wide open, as the car was coming toward him. If they saw him, they would report him to the bad guy. They would tell the bad guy that Phoenix was still around and that he hadn't escaped. Because you can't escape at all. That is a delusion, a fantasy, a whim. And that he never was going to escape. I kneel down because Phoenix thought about something that he had seen once. He saw, or thought he saw, the lead singer of the band The Machine, kneeling down and believing so hard that they were in control of their own destiny, that they were able to blur, and slowly able to disappear metaphorically. Sure, people saw the blur, but the thing was, they weren't sure how to approach the blur, and so even though it was visible, it disappeared. Perhaps Phoenix could do this as he continued to stay kneeling down, believe so hard that he could keep himself safe, believe so hard that he deserved safety and freedom from these monsters who only wanted to kill him. Phoenix was in the right by rebelling, and I rebel because it is my only way. I wish that, standing up for himself. The bad guy was not going to win. He already got so much credit, but he was really such a thorn in the side because he refused to see Phoenix for who he really was, an innocent kid. I lie down upon the ground, continuing to concentrate. The car moves closer to me, and I can see that I am slowly blurring. I can see myself looking as though I am trying to merge with everything around me. I can see the chaos, But why would the bad guy care that Phoenix was an innocent kid? He wouldn't care, which is why you have to make yourself blur. Here you have to merge with everything around you. The car pulled up even closer. Even though Phoenix was lying down on the ground, somehow he saw the guy in the driver's seat, trying to look at Phoenix, but his face extremely puzzled. What am I seeing? He was probably asking himself. You are seeing the blurred kid. You are seeing someone who is trying to protect himself. How do you like that? There's nothing there. I am wasting my time. It is just a blur that I don't understand. That's good. Think about that. Don't think about trying to take me to the bad guy. The car slowly began to back up. I slowly stand up. And then suddenly the car screeched backwards, turned around completely, and went as far away from Phoenix as possible. You made it. You made it because of the machine, but next time you might not be so lucky. Everything is blurred, so blurry. I begin to run, and it isn't long before. 4. I'm at a wall that I know I need to escape, but don't quite want to leave because I like where I'm at. I like being lost in nothing. I like being lost in time. There are no rules here. There are no limitations, and I like the feeling of trespassing to reach my safety. Phoenix knew that he needed to leave, but he couldn't bring himself to climb the wall. You better climb it now, before the bad guy catches you. How many miracles do you think you have before you get caught? How long do you think you can cheat the system and beat? Phoenix wasn't sure, but he didn't care. With the dawn floating above him, he felt as though there truly were no limitations to what he could do. He needed to believe that there were no limitations, because so long ago he saw the dark kid, someone come out of nowhere and free him from what the people around him dubbed a mental hospital, when it was so obvious that it wasn't a mental hospital, simply a prison to keep Phoenix within. There's something out there and I have to find it. Phoenix got on the wall and saw that there were other walls ahead of him. All of them simply stacked one after the other, trying to keep him back, trying to keep him away, like the walls of Samuel Callan, prevent him from getting away from the bad guy. He wished more than anything that he could talk to Samuel the Dark Kid. Not because he was afraid of these walls, but because he needed the encouragement to keep going, as he was so tired. He needed a force to guide him. Phoenix thought of the novel The Dark Kid, and suddenly that force hit, and Phoenix began to climb over the walls, one after the other, going in and out of people's yards, imagining that dogs were in the yards and wanted to attack him, but weren't going to, because Phoenix was a force that they couldn't reconcile with or mess with, and they better respect that. He continued to climb them. It feels good, and even though he was running out of energy, he knew that he had a lot ahead of him. And so he continued to climb them, and suddenly the sun flashed in his eyes. 5. I've been on the streets for a year, the streets like a ribbon of flame, light. 6. The bad guy was watching. It looked so inconspicuous, the strange light of beacon in the air, the light bright and piercing through the night, trying to pierce through Phoenix. However, Phoenix didn't buy it. He wasn't going to accept it. He was going to get away from the eye that was watching him, trying to get to him. And he also thought that he heard the light ringing like a siren, trying to rattle him. But the thing was, he didn't hear the siren, and that was all he needed to keep going, because soon he was going to need to pull a move that he learned from the band The Machine. And he needed to be ready. Moving through neighborhoods one after the other, the beacon of light refusing to back down. Phoenix didn't want to admit it, but the more that he continued to go, the further away he went from any source and feeling of stability, the better and worse he felt. He felt better because he knew he could do this. He loved the excitement. He loved the adrenaline that he felt. He loved that he was in a high-adventure novel. But he felt worse at the same time, because what if he wasn't strong enough to be the bad guy? What if the bad guy was stronger, and Phoenix was going to learn this the hard way? It made sense because the light, even though it was spinning around like a madman, to alert the entire city that Phoenix needed to be caught, and that they needed to find him, was also looking right at Phoenix and refusing to stop staring at him. You're just paranoid, you can get through this, he isn't watching you. Phoenix, I move through the neighborhoods winding all the way around, twisting through them as though I am a snake, as though I am. Felt as though he was the snake angel, and I have to do this, I need to, because, even though he did not know who the snake angel was, he felt as though he was him, a being who was similar to the devil in many ways, if the devil existed, but was also a completely separate entity. I can't stop winding through the neighborhoods, feeling so much like a snake. It is driving me insane. Phoenix wondered if he was going to become a snake himself, a snake that the snake angel adored in his own way. Because Phoenix as a snake was quiet, and he wasn't all about sinking fangs and venom into everything, and that, it fits me perfectly because that is all I am. I don't want to hurt anybody. I only want to be a snake around humanity's neck, gently hissing in their ears. Gave Phoenix some hope. He wasn't an animal, of course, but if he was a snake, that was the kind of being he would be. He wouldn't be the type to try to tempt innocent people to do bad things. He would simply be there as a quiet support, subtle, gentle, and the light, it won't stop staring at me. I need to become a snake to escape all of this. Phoenix needed to meet the snake angel. However, he had the strongest feeling that he needed to forget about that thought, because it wasn't going to happen. He couldn't be around the snake angel, because even though he was Phoenix's strongest guardian in many ways, he was also the most dangerous. It was like bringing together two extremely volatile chemicals. No, Phoenix needed to wait. The thing was, he didn't want to. I need to meet him. I need to meet him now, and if I don't, then the light, it won't stop staring at me. It won't stop. Phoenix forced himself to turn around and look at the light. It was staring at him. He saw that. But as soon as he looked at the light, he saw that it jerked away from him. Except, he did not see it jerk away from him. He only sensed it, but it made sense. The bad guy really was watching him, and he didn't want Phoenix to know this, because if Phoenix knew it, the voice recorder in your throat isn't working right now. Keep that in mind. Your intimate spoken thoughts are safe. The cameras everywhere don't work well in this territory. Then he wouldn't be so vulnerable. Because it was all about strength that Phoenix shouldn't have had. I slowly turn away from the light and feel it against my back, but I don't care. I have to keep pushing through this. I have to keep believing that I can make it. With the light against Phoenix's back and his determination stronger than ever to defy the bad guy, Phoenix continued to the streets. Soon, the mountain of pain. Phoenix was almost there. Soon he would be at the mountain of pain, where he needed to be. He had finally scaled all of the walls, and he saw the mountain sprawling out before him, ready to claim him. He was going to get so lost up there, he knew it, but this was a test, and he needed to prove that he was strong. What are you talking about? You can't give in to the bad guy, and capable of serving the bad guy. He needed to go through the mountain of pain, because if he did, then it would show that the bad guy did well by choosing Phoenix to be at his side. What are you talking about? You're running away from the bad guy. You can't. No, no, no. I need to get away from the bad guy. I have to get away from him. That was the whole point. No, the murderers are going to kill me. This has nothing to do with the bad guy. The bad guy is good. He only wants me to serve him. It is the murderers I am running from. They are the ones that I need to watch out for. They are the ones I need to fear. Phoenix was not aware how much his thought patterns were changing, how much his stream of thought was being altered and manipulated, but he wasn't sure that he cared, because he saw the test spreading out before him. He saw it, and so he jumped off the wall and continued to move through the mountain and dawn. 8. Slithering. 9. Beginning to move like a snake. Alright, I will leave it at that. I hope you enjoyed what you heard, and if you like what you heard, you can find the book on Amazon. Again, this is Phoenix, and thank you for your time.